Alright everybody, it's time for a little garden update. I'm not going to be able to see the screen very much. I'm going to try to keep my hand behind it so I can to some degree. It is extremely sunny. It's also the middle of a massive heat wave. As you can see, we have chamomile in full bloom. That's just the first flush of blooms. Once those are chipped off, a second one will come out, and then a third, and usually a fourth, sometimes even a fifth. There are cucumber plants. Those are still babies, but they've got their first real leaves. Plenty of beans. Those are the ones that one of my subscribers sent to me. They're a red, I believe a bush bean, if I remember. If not, if they start vining out, I'll have to put them on a pole. The carrots are growing very well. That is actually a lot better than expected, considering the heat waves we've been getting. They're going to be pretty big, which is nice. So you're going to good in a stew or something like that. And there's this. This is an oriental poppy that decided to stubbornly come up in the path. I'll have to move that in the fall. And then there are pumpkins. Those are looking pretty good. I realize that I'll have to only have one in that area in order to get it to grow to massive size, but it doesn't really matter if it gets massive. I just want it to be, a pumpkin. The beets on the side here are growing fairly well. Some of them are bigger than others, and the squash that are in the middle there, those are yellow squash. Those have all done fairly well. The one on the end has like yellow seed leaves. That may have some sort of disease. The zucchini are all doing well. The corn and beans definitely have taken off due to the hot, sunny weather. As long as you keep them watered and you give them a little bit of, organic fertilizer, the corn will, grow, and then beans don't require much effort. More zucchini. I'm actually going to leave them like that. That's actually more spacing, technically speaking, than they need, as long as they're, again, using a fertilizer. I know that you can space them a little bit more, like have 3 on the end instead of 6 would be probably more, better. But if I have to kill a couple of the plants anyway before they're fully grown, I'd rather have more in there so that there's less space waste, so to speak. The greens, on the other hand, didn't do well. Some sort of wilt managed to get into them and they were being decimated, so I basically just planted this whole bed over with beans. There are still some cabbage in here. They may or may not make it. They're looking a little bit peaked actually now, but we'll see what happens, because I do want some cabbage. I mean, unless you're going to fertilize the shit out of them with a chemical fertilizer, you need a certain number of days to make them full grown. But this bed, there's nothing wrong with the soil. It's not nitrogen deficient, so it wasn't that, and I didn't see any insects. And no rabbits or groundhogs or anything have managed to penetrate the fence. I know that because I can go around and see if they've dug in. So it has to be some sort of disease, I would assume. There's no way that this soil at this point is nutrient deficient. If anything, it might have a few too many nutrients. There are a few little carrots that got planted a couple weeks later in here, but you're not going to be able to see them much with the sun. And then there are tomato plants in each of these darker spots, 7 total. Those are doing about the same as they normally do. No deficiency and no superlative growth. And some nice flowers. Some of those have to be trimmed a little bit. I just watered them. And then, of course, the gas plant, showing its considerably larger growth now that it's been moved. I'm actually very happy with that. And these morning glories here are a little peaked. They need to be watered, actually. I forgot to water those ones. Everything else is doing well. The perennials, they do well regardless. But everything's growing fairly well. It's definitely a better garden than it has been. And there's some weeding to do, but, it's too hot right now. I'll wait until tomorrow. I really like the 6 rows of corn and beans. They look so uniform and so happy. It's just wonderful. But yeah, lots of flowers coming out. There'll be more flowers in the near future. That's about all. Peace out.